What's up, everybody, and welcome to Monday, March 29th. This is ITG Daily, the show where we bring you the hottest in gaming news. Coming up on this week's show, we have Anthem director leaving after 10 years being at BioWare. Monster Hunter is selling huge. And, well, Sony news again about something about a PS Store lockdown. But I'm joined with none other than the one and only Brad Davison from Northern Nerdcast. Brad, thanks for joining, buddy.
Thanks for having me, man. It's I wanted to do this last time and I wasn't available, so when you asked, I said, yeah, let's do it.
Nice. And of course, you can get us at insidethegame.ca or audio services around the world, esports TV, and other OTT streaming networks. Brad, we got a lot to cover this week, buddy. Already Monday, dude. How was the weekend? Good?
I worked, so I didn't get much gaming in, and I mean, what are you going to do? You got to make that bread, right?
Absolutely. Let's get into it. Jonathan Warner departs BioWare after nearly 10 years. Jonathan posted over on his Twitter, "So today is my last day at BioWare. I'm moving on to do new things. BioWare has been home to my grateful heart for nearly 10 years, and I want to wish them all the best. Dragon Age, Mass Effect, and Star Wars The Old Republic are in good hands, and I can't wait to play them from the other side of the screen." Man, like, this just leads up to more bad news, don't you think, Brad? Because Casey Hudson just left over a year ago. This obviously comes on the closing of Anthem. They shut down Anthem after Anthem Next was in the works for, well, probably since the release of Anthem. This can't be a good sign.
No, not at all. And it's not just BioWare that's losing out. Like, the fans are losing as well. And I mean, it seems like developers lately are just dropping, like, from every studio. But this one was pretty big because, like, it's BioWare.
Well, yeah, exactly. Right? Like, so Casey Hudson left, who came back to EA at BioWare and was looking there to help out and kind of rejuvenate, I think, what EA had in the first place. EA was it's one of those companies you love to hate, which is, it's unfortunate, but when you look at the stats, they're like the number one hated company when it comes to the gaming industry, and it's too bad because they have some solid games. Anthem, dude, was one of my favorite games, and then they shut it down. Brad, did you play Anthem at all?
I played, I want to say, about a day. It wasn't anything, it just didn't grab me. Like,
Sure.
I saw the original launch trailer, and I was so excited because you were basically your own Iron Man, really. And then you got the game, and it didn't have that epic feel that the trailer made you think was going to happen. And I mean, obviously it's a game to play with friends or random people, but
Sure.
I didn't grab me. And like, I tried all the different javelins out, and nothing really set one from apart from the other, apart from, like, one was a tank, one was kind of like a mage. And I was fortunate enough that I got a full refund, because I know they weren't accepting refunds at the game stores, and I brought it back and they said, yeah, no problem. So, and then I got it for free. I have it behind me now. When I bought a lot, and the guy's like, dude, do you want Anthem? I'm like, sure.
Actually, I returned it not too long ago. I loved Anthem. I thought the story was pretty solid, but what happened was the lack of content right at the end of the game. That was the biggest thing. We've talked about this over and over again on this show, so I don't want to keep beating the dead horse, but it's hard to swallow. When we saw what Anthem Next looked like, I was really hoping for that No Man's Sky feel, that effect of coming back from the grave, more or less, and revitalizing something that we thought should have been. It could have been, right? We're watching the trailer, the original trailer, and what you see there is something incredible, and what could have been, and is just now gone. And then it's just disheartening to see that Jonathan leaves now as well. Casey's gone. Mark, also the executive producer from Dragon Age 4, has left the studio too. So it's these big names within BioWare that are stepping out and they're leaving. And that kind of worries me a bit for the future of BioWare. And where do we stand with this company now? Are we excited for Dragon Age 4? Or should we be nervous? And we've seen, obviously, Cyberpunk, which is coming up later on this episode as well. We'll be getting into that. But, we saw the launch of that game. And how far can we keep going, Brad, before these developers are going to realize you can't produce something that you've already promised to people?
Yeah, exactly. And it makes you wonder, like you said, like what is going on? Like I always have this image in the back of my head, like it goes back to Jade Raymond leaving Stadia. Like, is she gathering all these people up to create some epic group? Like, who, you don't know, because you don't know where any of these developers are going, other than the fact that they've left. And like, it's just, I mean, it could be a really exciting thing, and it could just be they just had enough. So you don't really know what's gonna happen.
No, for sure. Could you imagine if Jade scooped all these developers up? Casey Hudson's over there. Jonathan's now there. Mark is over there. She just keeps swarming all these people.
The lead designer from CDPR, like all like just all these people. It just, and then they release something and it's just bunk.
Oh yeah, hopefully not. Let's work on the promise of what they have, right? I think exactly. I'm excited to see what Jade has, but it's just another one. BioWare has me a little concerned, right? Mass Effect, they're reworking Mass Effect. We're getting a new Mass Effect, and we're getting a remastered version of it as well, right? Or a remake version. So curious to see how well those go over. I know our guys over here at Inside the Game are pretty pumped for Mass Effect as a whole, and especially you jump back into that trilogy. Did you ever get into the trilogy at all?
So I owned, like, obviously one at the time was an Xbox exclusive. So I never got into it just because I never owned an Xbox. I mean, I do now, but so I kind of jumped into 2, and I liked how they kind of summed the first one up on the PS3, like, because at the time it wasn't available. I absolutely loved number 2, and then number 3 came out, and like, I liked the concept of number 3, but I found that the ending, the original ending was so bad that they had to like make a new ending. And so like it was, so that made up for it. And then I had a friend who briefly worked for Ubisoft who got a code, not Ubisoft, sorry, BioWare, who got a code for Andromeda. He let me try it out. I liked it, but it didn't have that Mass Effect feel. It was more of just a run and gun. So like and then I got the trilogy when they re-released it on the PS3 and played through the first one, played through the second one, struggled through the third one. So it's, I mean, I like the series, and it was the same with Dragon Age for me. I know we're going off topic, but Dragon Age 2 was kind of a miss. But I'm excited to see what BioWare does with the future of all these games. I honestly didn't even know that Old Republic was still a thing.
Yeah, it's still going. Yeah, it is a bit of a shock to see that thing is. I mean, a lot of people love that game, right? But the future of BioWare is just kind of up in the air right now.
Yeah,
that's for
absolutely.
Sure. I know, that's what I said. I know Nate's pumped for Mass Effect, and we'll see how that kind of plays out. But it never really hooked me either. I tried the first one. I could not get into the first. Good friend of mine, Kyle, says, Drew, just move on to the second one. So I did. That was really good, and I never finished it to move on to 3. I just got sidetracked.
Yeah.
Are you picking up the newest, the remastered or the remake version?
I don't know. I mean, like,
that sounds doubtful, Brad. That sounds doubtful.
You can see the library behind me, and
yeah,
I intend to play some of them, but I don't know. Like, I might just. I mean, if they add new stuff, then maybe, but I don't know. We'll see.
We'll see. Monster Hunter Rise ships 4 million units in its first weekend, Brad.
That's insane. That's just.
Holy crap. Capcom today announced that Monster Hunter Rise for the Nintendo Switch has shipped 4 million units wide. The franchise itself exceeds 66 million units shipped as of December 31st, 2020. Monster Hunter is...
That's crazy. Yeah, absolutely.
Did you get it on the Switch?
No, it is on my list. I played Worlds. I loved it. I didn't play the expansion. I like it again. It's another one of those games, like a monster hunting game. Like I've got Tsukaiden on the Vita. They're all like, it just gets repetitive after a certain amount of time.
Rest in peace, Vita.
Yeah. Well, and that's something we'll be talking about shortly too. But I found that after a while it just got too much of the same. Now this one apparently is, from what I've been reading, it's the best reviewed of the series, which
Sure.
is really good considering Worlds was at the time the highest reviewed game, positive reviews for. This one sounds like it's a shorter game too, so I mean it might be something we're jumping into on the Switch, just as a grab and go kind of thing if I'm going from point A to point B or something like that. So
That's just it. It was made specifically for the Switch, and I think that's one of the biggest selling features right there, that you're able to take this game on the go with you, whether you want to jump in for a few minutes or you want to stick around for hours, right? So I think that's cool to have it. I tried out the demo. Not the biggest Monster Hunter guy. I jumped into Worlds though and really got hooked. So when I saw it on the Switch, it's that how do you communicate with friends? Because on the Switch, that's the biggest downfall is the Switch communication, the online connection there. The problem. So
yeah.
your game sounds like it's gonna be a lot of fun. People are loving it, but when you want to party up, sometimes the Switch isn't the best place to go.
No, the Switch is was a big miss for me, was their online presence. I think the Switch seems like they're more focused on single player games, which I am normally a single player game, but
Yep.
if you're gonna get into something like that, you need to have that proper connection. And if you don't have a Wi-Fi built into the Switch, like I don't even think they have a Wi-Fi capability. Like you can set it up with your phone, but why would I want to eat data through my phone to play a video game?
Definitely a weird setup, right? Like Microsoft and PlayStation have been out for years with the Xbox and their online service stuff. It works fantastic. You think they would have kind of picked up on what they were building on and then added that into the Switch. Instead, they want to keep it a little bit more child friendly. What's not so friendly though is PlayStation is locking doors on legacy web-based PS Store, Brad. Sony have officially relaunched its PlayStation Store on the web. However, it looks like rumors that the company is about to outright close it. PS3, PS Vita, PSP storefronts will be closed, and the classic web store as well. Brad, what the heck are they doing over at PlayStation by shutting all these old titles?
Yeah,
I get they're old titles, but you know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Especially for you. You're a
me.
collector.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a digital collector, but as I've stated numerous times, but this actually hurts because, like, Sony, first of all, never really. To me, I don't feel like they ever believed in their handheld. Like they just released them.
Dude.
They did a couple first party games, but the Vita was. To me, it was the second coming of the PS2, like just RPG after RPG after RPG, and that's my jam, is role playing games. But with them shutting down the stores, in a way, it's good if you're a collector, because if you're ever looking to offload your Vita collection, people will be. This is going to be like a hugely collectible system now. PSP not so much. The online presence for PSP was pretty much finished once the Vita was launched.
Yep.
But like even for hackers like that have the Henkaku and all that on their systems, they're not going to be able to access these web-based sites anymore. Again, it's a win for Sony because they obviously don't want people being able to hack in and download games legally. But yeah, it's just it's the final nail in the coffin. PS3, I mean, you got to move with the times because we're already 2 generations ahead.
Yeah.
But the Vita is one of those systems that it's a hybrid, not really a hybrid. It is not. You can't plug it into your TV. Well, you can with PlayStation TV, but that's something totally different.
Dude, I like the Vita.
I don't know.
I really liked it, but the problem is, where do these titles now go? They just die out in the ether, right? That's the problem. So when you're looking for long-term preservation for the gaming industry, you're going to lose a bunch of titles. Granted, it really doesn't affect me all that much, just because I'm always on to the next game and on to the new game, and always moving forward with something new instead of going backwards. I tend to go back to a couple titles from like years ago. I'll jump back into the world of Splinter Cell because I'm just waiting on the next Splinter Cell, which who knows what Ubisoft is doing. They can't produce one fast enough for me. But, well, they did skip like a whole saying you hook us up. But it's a lot of times I'm just moving forward. I'm not really going back. But I know there are people love to go back and play titles. I love those classics, right? And they're classics for a reason, Brad. Nostalgia is there, but it's slowly dying. And Jim Ryan stated that nostalgia just doesn't pay. From the way he kind of, I'm paraphrasing him, obviously, but it doesn't pay when you want to move forward in generations. So keep those stories up and running, I don't think is worth it in the end, according to Jim Ryan.
Yeah, no, it makes complete sense. It's just it hurt when they announced that, because originally it was just rumors. Oh, they're shutting the stores down. Yeah, well, that's the internet. What do they know? And then once it started coming out that all these like other companies are saying, yeah, our titles aren't going to be limited run games. I mean, they're not like, they're a big company, but they even said the same thing. Digital will only be around for so long, and then when so say something happens, your internet goes down, you can't have access to this library anymore. So that's why like they're still pushing for the hard copies.
Yeah, no. Where you see Xbox though bringing the full library over, right? Like they're slowly bringing increments over and over of other titles. So Nate over here just said he played Splinter Cell Conviction and Army of Two on the Xbox. So, right there, if you want to be a part of the conversation, just hit us up in twitch.tv/theofficialITG or ITG Daily on our Twitch channel or on our Discord channel. Join in the conversation. Brad, Xbox moving forward, PlayStation closing the doors.
Yeah,
completely two different strategies here.
Smart move by Sony by a long shot. Yeah, good job, Sony.
Well, speaking of changes, Brad, let's get into it. Cyberpunk 2077 has launched a 6-page notes for the patch. Patch 1.2 is out. Brad, let's go. You want to go through you're the Cyberpunk guy. I played Cyberpunk. I finished it. I reviewed it. It was, man, it could have been, right? That's what honestly, it could have been, and it just didn't. It just wasn't. But now, so you made the comment to me before we even went on air, and this is, I think, where it stands out the most is 6 pages for the patch tells me this game wasn't ready. We all know the game was not ready at launch, but what makes you think how many patches have you seen since, Brad, getting Cyberpunk 2077?
Well, I mean, there was obviously there's the day one patch because that has to happen. Sure. But there was hotfix 1.05, 1.06, then they came out with patch 1.1, which was supposed to fix some game crashing stuff, and it made it worse. It got the Skyrim treatment with 1.1, like just anyways. And then they came out with another hotfix that never made it to console. It was only on PC. It was 1.12 or something like that, and it fixed a couple glitches, and then nothing, and then nothing, and then the cyber hack happened. And to me, yes, it happened, but I think that they were kind of using that as an excuse to the patch obviously wasn't ready. You got 6 pages of fixes, and there's some console exclusive patches on. There's PC exclusive patches. I can now finally finish the game to get the ending that I want, which is but it fixed like one of the I can't get into the whole the thing. We'd be here all day.
Oh
but
man, no,
like
not doing it. Yeah.
The main thing that a lot of people were annoyed about, besides the obvious game crashing stuff, was the response time of the police. You do an illegal act, like you point a gun at someone, there's 6 cops swarming on you that just appear out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And so what CDPR did was, it's now police drones that assess the situation, and if it warrants a call to the cops, then they do it. But it's just like, I don't know. It's just
I don't want to get into the patch. Obviously, there's 6 pages of notes. If you're into Cyberpunk, check out cyberpunk.net, and then it'll have the patch notes there for you. You can check that out. There's lots to go over.
Still no release date though for it.
So it's just coming. So they haven't. So they've announced the patch and what's coming, but they haven't actually provided you when it's coming.
No, and that worries me at the same time, because tomorrow CDPR is supposed to be doing a press conference about the future of their company. That when I hear the future of our company, that scares me because, and again, they lost one of their lead directors. He said this guy got death threats. Like, I was mad when the game crashed. I would never go and threaten somebody over
Oh,
a game,
what
but
fool.
he like obviously there's more to the story, but a lot of the rumors were with the death threats he was getting, he lost the passion. So,
Oh, that's fair. You're there to build a game. It's a game. At the end of the day, people, it's a game. Whether you like it or not, it's not worth telling someone you're gonna. Yeah, death threats are not cool. They're never cool.
no.
But yeah, go check out the patch if you're interested. But yeah, the thing, it says right there, like, changes coming update, but it doesn't say when the update is. So I don't know if we'll see it tomorrow,
and
when it's happening. But
and
that's definitely weird.
the very bottom of the patch says, like you said, more to come. So
Yeah.
obviously, like if it's a 12-page patch, then there's something clearly wrong. Like they felt pressure to get this thing out.
Yeah.
But 6 pages tells me at least a year. Like if you have the time to go through and read, there is a lot of stuff that it needs to be addressed, that will be addressed. And like if you read the comment section on this forum, like people are praising them. It's like, no, they don't get praise. This should have been dealt with before. Good job, CDPR. You fixed a game that came out in December that should have been ready to go, but
Right,
here
don't
we
let them
are.
off the hook. That's it, Brad. Keep it going, buddy.
That's right.
Yeah. EA's stepping up their game. They're coming back into the world of the PGA Tour. PGA Tour is on its way. EA Sports returns to golf with EA Sports PGA Tour. Okay, this I thought I'd put it out there for anybody who's interested in golf. I know Corey and Adam are big into it, so EA Sports and PGA Tour have created some of the most memorable golf video game experiences together. We couldn't be more excited to expand our sports portfolio with the new golf title on next-gen hardware, said Cam Weber, the EVP and GM at EA Sports. So that's good. If you're into golf, that's coming. It's one of those things. You know, we play golf. We actually had the tour, but we were doing the 2K golf. That game was good. It was a ton of fun. But now EA's back. EA's been kind of all over the place lately, Brad. Hard to keep up with what they're all over. They're just everywhere right now. I don't know if they have like a solid game plan on what they're doing, but it definitely seems a little bit hit or miss sometimes with these guys.
Absolutely. And for me, like, I was hard into Tiger Woods on the PS2 and like all these games. I have not played a golf game since Tiger Woods on the Wii. That's a long time ago. So, well, Wii golf, but that doesn't really count.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Let's get into ID at Xbox had the showcase on Friday, Brad. Oh, we're like, okay, let's, man, this was.
Let's talk about what's right. Because the pacing was not right at all. Like I sat through it with you guys, like not live like this, but through Twitch, and the pacing was just so bad.
It was all over the place, unfortunately. But they did show new games, updates, and trailers for 80 new titles. Over 20 titles coming to Game Pass. I think that's the biggest highlight right there, is the games that are coming to Game Pass, as well as all these titles they featured. But yeah, like you said, it was the pacing, man. The pacing was killer on this thing. It was just so boring. It was 3 hours to watch all this. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. This is ID at Xbox Showcase. It's a showcase. Show me what you got, and then let me get out, because I had to stick around for 3 hours. We didn't. We actually bailed after 2 because we had other things to do. And it was just one of those, man, I get we cover the industry, but at the same time, that was just painful. But of course, they saved the good stuff for the end, right? So they showed us Stalker 2, which looks awesome. They did start with Ascent. Ascent is one of my most anticipated titles this year. This game looks incredible.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to being able to finally try out Rust. Like, I've just been hearing so much about that game.
Yeah.
Not really big into like that horror aspect, but it's one of those titles that I think will be like really good. Another one that stuck out for me, you've been singing its praises, and originally I had thought that it was a game from the 360 getting a remaster. I thought it was Lost Odyssey, and I was like, oh my god, they're remaking this game. But I mean, it looks amazing. Last Oasis just looks incredible, and I'm really looking forward to trying that out. It's out now, so maybe I'll get some Steam and install it.
Yeah, you can find Last Oasis right now on Steam, but they just came to Xbox Preview, which is awesome. Our friends over at Donkey Crew they have a cool game. We'll be covering it on the show this week or next, so make sure you stay tuned to that. But it's definitely it's got a unique twist with these walkers and things like that. The walkers are so cool. And it's just that grind to get to the next walker and finding resources. I know Scott and I and Corey jumped in when we were on PC playing the crap out of that game. Now it's made its way over to Xbox. Just a couple other ones to kind of highlight too, right? Like there's Second Extinction coming on April 20th. Rust, you talked about Rust there, Brad. May 21st is when that one launches, which is cool. Among Us is coming. So there's a ton of games. Like I said, 80 games, but it took them 3 hours to tell us all about it, right? Night Squad 2 is another one that was a highlight. The guys and I did a live stream on that one. That game is so fun. It was chaos. Nate won all that night, I think. He was on a roll. Hello Neighbor 2 is there. There are so
that looks
many
awesome.
games. Oh, it looks like a blast, right? So much to cover, so much to do, so much to talk about. It's just nonstop. But yeah, it was the pacing that really kind of threw us all off, right? That was the biggest down. Brad, we're coming up to the end of the show, my friend, which means this is Scott's segment, so I'm going to let you do it. What games are out today, my friend?
So today we have Nate's Bread and Butter Doom 3 VR Edition, which is on the PS4, which is interesting because there was a Doom game on VR, Doom VFR. I won't say what the F stands for, but it looks pretty good. There's also Elite Dangerous Odyssey. Now I know nothing about this. Before we came on the show, I did some viewing and it looks insane.
Jam. Yes, Scott's
so I'm definitely gonna be checking that one out. And then the last one, which again, I don't know what it is with Nintendo and these weird names, but Body Quest.
It looks like a weird one. I came in a press release. Definitely a weird title. Hey Brad, I want to thank you for joining today's ITG Daily. Where can people find you, and what exactly do you do for the gaming industry?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. It was a lot of fun. Half an hour just blew by. I do podcasting on my YouTube channel, Northern Nerdcast. I'm on Facebook as the Northern Nerdcast. Right now, obviously, because of COVID, our trade show is not happening. Well, it didn't happen last year. We're not sure what's happening this year, but we run a show in Sudbury called the Northern Game Expo, which is Northern Ontario's largest video game expo. You guys came out year 5. I'm assuming you had a blast. Like you guys had people, you had people asking you for autographs, which I thought was pretty cool. You guys did a panel, but everything. I'm on Discord at the Northern Nerdcast as well, but I do a lot of podcasting through Spotify, Anchor, YouTube. So check it out. If you like what you see, just hit that like and subscribe button. So that's all I got to say.
That's awesome. Brad, thank you again. This is ITG Daily, your one show for all the hottest in gaming news. You can find this over at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services around the world, esports TV, and of course, other OTT streaming services. Till tomorrow, we'll see you inside the game.